Hello, 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 Stampers. Happy Thursday. Welcome to um, an extra Facebook Live this week as I prepare for my upcoming Scrap Your Stash Session 3. Sorry, I'm just updating my laptop here so I can see you. I'll try to make it straight. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, I'm hoping that you can hear me. My phone was almost dead, so I have my phone plugged in and I can't plug in my microphone. So let's hope, I'll try to remember to talk a little louder than I normally do, just so that the audio is good. All right, welcome. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada, and normally I do Facebook Lives on Friday. However, I am doing an extra one today because I am going to pick my kit from my stash live for you this morning for my upcoming Scrap Your Stash class. Okay, so this will be the third round of my Scrap Your Stash classes. They are so fun. Basically, we put together kits from our collection, stuff that we already own, and we create together. Okay, so the class will actually be held over the course of 2 days in a private Facebook group on May, I should have double checked the date, the first week in May, first Friday, first Saturday of May. I think it's the 6th and the 7th, I believe. So that's when it's going to go. The actual class part is going to happen. However, because it will be in a private Facebook Live, there will be bonus content leading up to the video, or leading up to the class, and then also afterwards as well. Okay, so first of all, I want to explain kind of my thought process for why I do this. Now, whenever the last chance list is released from the annual catalog, or for the annual catalog, the first thing I do is I go through all of my stuff and I pull out everything that is retiring. Now, this process is different for everyone, and you have to also consider that I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I really try to only use what is current and available through Stampin' Up! So I don't keep or use a lot of retired product. Now, that's not to say I don't keep anything, and there are some things that I keep and I do continue to use because we don't have something comparable in the current annual catalog. Okay, so that's my first step, is I pull out everything that is retiring. Now, if you want to scrap your stash and you are not a business-oriented Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you do not need to do this. I'm going to share the process of what I do with my retired product, but you could follow the same process and just do it with the stuff that you have on hand. Okay, you don't need to separate your current and retired product. Okay, so that's the first thing that I do. The second thing that I do is I have a list in one of my notebooks with all of the projects that I would like to complete. Well, most of the projects that I'd like to complete. It's a long list. So most of these are scrapbook albums that I have that are almost done. You can see some of them, actually some of them only have like 1 or 2, 3 things left to do in them. Some of them are just like simple things like journaling on a scrapbook layout. But there's so many scrapbook albums that I have that are almost complete. So my goal this year is to complete as many as I can. So that is my step 2. My step 2 is to go through the pages or photos that I still need to scrapbook. Maybe title pages that need to get done. What else? Cards that I might need for people whose birthdays are coming up. Even home decor. It's just anything. I try to make a list of what it is that I want to accomplish with this Scrap Your Stash, okay? And I do make the list longer than what I know I'm going to accomplish. So this is my list. I've pulled out, let me show you. So I've pulled out some stuff. Okay, so I've got some photos that I want to scrapbook. I've got some old photos of my husband when he was little that I thought might be fun. This was a magnet that we had on our fridge years ago, and I love, love, love the picture. So I want to somehow incorporate that on a scrapbook layout. I've got another one of these frames, shadow boxes, that I shared an Easter version, and I have another one that I want to do something for summer, so I pulled that out. And then I pulled out some pages, so you can see from 2016, I've got some photos in here, but the page is not finished. Okay, so I've got a few of those. I've got this pile of stuff from when my daughter was in Sparks, so I kind of pulled that out so I could try to accomplish something with that. There's photos in there, there's artwork, there's a little bit of everything. So that is kind of my list. I've also included some upcoming birthdays so that I could try to use some of that stuff in there. And I also thought I have some back to school albums for my kids, and they're not fully complete, even though both of them have graduated from grade 12 already. And one of them from university. But I just kind of jotted that down to kind of keep in the back of my mind, just in case I want to do that as well. Okay, so that is step 2. Step 1 is to pull out all my stuff. Step 2 is to go through and make a list of some of the projects that I could do. Okay, so I'm just going to set this aside. Now for this next step, I do keep this list handy, because the next step is to go through my patterned paper. Okay, so this is my pile of retiring patterned paper. So now what I'm going to go through each package and pull out some of my favorite pieces that I think would work really well with the projects from my list. Okay, so I'm keeping those projects in mind. So I'm gonna, let's see, this one is just automatic. I love buffalo plaid, so I will pull this one out. And it's always nice to have black and white in your kit as well. So I'm gonna pull this one out as well, because a black and white stripe is great. Oh, but this is fabulous. So keeping in mind some of the photos, I've got some soccer photos, I've got some outdoor photos, some younger photos. So these nice bright colors are perfect for that. So I'm gonna keep that. This is one of my favorite paper packs, so I know that I will probably pull out a lot of this paper. See, this again is a great color combination, great just kind of generic pattern. So I'm gonna pull that out. Let's see, I'm gonna look through these bigger pieces first. Okay, now let's look through the full sheets. Gotta have this one and this one. Let's see what else here. This pool party would be good. I don't know that I need two patterns in the same, two of the same patterns. Okay, so I'm done with this one. I'll just toss this on the floor for now. Okay, so now I'm going to, so I've got these pieces kind of set aside beside me. I know you guys can't see everything here. So I've got them set aside to my right, and I'm kind of looking at those colors just because I happen to pick right off the bat a couple patterns that have lots of great colors. So I'm going to go through and try to stick with that kind of color combination, but not, I'm not going to restrict myself to that color combination, because I have this and this that I could do. So there's some yellow in this one. I've also got the black and white, because on the backs of all of these are black and white. So I also have that I can keep in mind. So I can introduce additional colors. Okay, so one of the reasons why I do this, well, I mean, there's several reasons. First of all, it gives me the opportunity to, I'm gonna pull this out just because it's got some of those oranges in there. There's some petal pink. So there is, so I'm just gonna keep pulling out while, while I talk here. It gives me an opportunity to use some of my favorite products before they retire. But in addition to that, look at that pattern. In addition to that is I prefer to work with a smaller collection of products. I find that I'm more productive if I have a kit that I've put together to work with rather than just going through my collection each time I sit down to scrapbook or to card make. Okay, there's lots of fabulous products in here, or patterns in here. The other thing I can keep in mind is I do have a few cards on that list, and I do have that project, that summer frame. You know what, I'm going to include this one too, just because I really love this pattern. So right here, these patterns right here could be a couple separate projects. Okay, now I don't want to do that for every paper pack. I really want to, I want to have enough selection that I can work with it for quite a while and accomplish a lot of items on that list, but I don't want to have too many choices that it's going to overwhelm me. Okay. Okay, now we're going through the Sweet Symmetry. I do like this yellow. Let's see what else is in here. So I probably won't pull out. Okay, so I've got this yellow, and remember there's some yellow in this one. So this could work with this. I thought there was some yellow in another one. Oh, and there was some yellow in this one. So it could also work with this one. So I'm going to pull out just that one pattern just so I have a little bit of yellow to pull from. And I might actually pull this as well, just so that I have some smaller scraps. Okay, so I've got my specialty paper mixed in here. I'm just going to set this aside for now. I'll do the 6x6 later. Okay, this particular pattern paper, I know that this is not going to go with anything that I've pulled out already. It's a completely different style. So I'm just going to set that aside. This is Christmas. I'm going to set that aside. Okay, now let's go through this one. Now these are different greens in this paper pack. So I probably won't, oh, but there is this one. Now, you know, if I don't love it, I'm not going to pull it out. There's this one. So I'm kind of putting it up against some of these other patterns just to see what it looks like, just to make sure it works with what I've pulled out. Because if it doesn't work, if it's just an individual sheet, I won't bother pulling it out. Oh, but look at this one. Now see this, I prefer this pattern over this pattern. So I'm going to switch this one out for this one. But I'll still keep this smaller piece of this one. Let's see what else we've got. Okay, and I think that's it from this one. Okay, this again is a completely different kind of, it's a completely different feel. It's a little bit more rustic. So I think I'm going to skip this pack. I don't think that there'd be too much, if anything, in that pack that would work. Now this one, this again is completely different, but there might be some pieces, like some wood grain patterns, that would work as backgrounds. So I am going to flip through and just see what I've got left in this. I've probably used all the great wood grain patterns. Okay. See that one? I don't mind that one, but again, it feels like a different vibe, and I don't love that one. And this is really not my favorite wood grain pattern, so I'm not, well, no, I'm not going to pull that one out either. Let's see what else. I would imagine all my favorites are gone from this pack. Yeah, and see, that's too dark. I don't want that. Yeah, so I think that's it from this one. Let's see what we've got in this one. Again, this kind of has a different feel, but I'll look through it. Let's see what I can come up with. So putting together these kits does take a little bit of time, but like I said, it will save you time in the long run if you put together a kit and then work from that kit for a little while until you get tired of it, and then you can move on. Okay, so here's a different shade of yellow. I don't think I'm going to take this one out. Okay, let's see what else. Again, this is very florally, and as you can see, I'm not really going for a floral vibe. Okay, and then this one, I don't think that there's too much in here that's going to work. This one, maybe. You know what, I'm going to include this one because if you look at these patterns, this could work together. So this might be a great option for a background with some of these included on the layout. Okay, so I am going to pull that one out. What else have we got in here? Okay, I think that's it from that. Okay, so here are the pattern papers that I've chosen so far. I'll kind of put them together so that you guys can get a better idea of what I've got here. And I may go back and pull out that second pattern of this one because I could see myself using both sides, both the black and white stripe and this heart pattern. Okay, so we've got these ones, which I would probably all use together, and then we've got these ones that I would use together. Okay, so now let's do the 6x6 paper packs. Now this could be pretty easy because it's got the colors listed: Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Pale Papaya, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. So Pale Papaya might, although this is Petal Pink, I think Pale Papaya was in this, but a very little bit. So I'm not even going to bother with that. Okay, and then here we've got brights. Okay, so here, a lot of these are brights. So I am going to open this up and we'll see what we've got here. Okay, so probably not some mango. I want to avoid pink, but this is Granny Apple Green. Granny Apple Green would be a good option. I think this is Flirty Flamingo. I don't know. I will include one Flirty Flamingo, but I don't know that I'll use it. I don't tend to use a lot of pinks. There is some Bermuda Bay in there, so I'm going to use Bermuda Bay. There is some Poppy Parade. There's some yellow. So again, like I said, you won't necessarily use all of these. I mean, unless you make a point of using your kit until it's almost all gone, which is completely fine. You know what, I'm gonna, just to include a little bit more green, I'm gonna include these scraps in here as well. Okay, so I think that's it from this paper pack. I'll set that aside. Okay, and then we've got this glimmer paper. Okay, so there is a blue one in the back. The blue one, we don't really have any blues apart from a lighter balmy blue here. There is some red, but I probably won't use red, but I think I will take out the yellow. Okay, so I've got the yellow glimmer paper, and now we have this fabulous shimmer vellum, and this is in the in colors. So again, the colors don't really work. However, there is some Pale Papaya. This could be nice to layer with these ones. So I'm going to pull out a piece of that and just give myself some options for a little bit of texture in there and a little bit more sparkle. Like, look how shimmery that is. So pretty. Okay. And then these are my scraps that I have left. Oh, and there's a full sheet, I think, in the back. Let's have a look. Yes, there is a full sheet of this. Now, if you look at this and you look at this, this could work really well together. And because I have all of these scraps, I'm going to keep out the whole package, because that way I can cut from scraps before I cut from the full sheet, because I will not use this whole sheet as it is. So I would check my scraps first. So we're going to keep this whole package out. Let's see if I can easily get this back in here. Okay, I'll save that for later. Okay. So that is kind of my paper collection that I've put together. So this is a great base for my kit. So that's probably going to be what takes you the longest, is going through your papers, picking out what you want to use. But I do find that it's easiest if you find something with like multiple colors to start with. Okay, so these these three patterns happen to be in the very first paper pack that I picked. So it's easier if you pull out some fun multicolored patterns first and then choose additional products from different collections with that as your base or that as your guideline. Okay, so this is my paper kit, and of course I'll pull out coordinating cardstock and stuff like that that goes with it as I create. I won't necessarily include that in with my kit. Okay. All right, the other thing that I happened to notice when I pulled out my retired product is I have this Memories and More kit. It's called What a Year. It's from the annual catalog, and it is being retired. I've had it almost since the catalog was released, and I have not used a single piece of it. So I'm going to pull that out as well. Now you can see there are a few other colors in here, but there are some similar. So there's some yellow, there's some Pool Party, there's a different shade of green, but you saw that in my collection, or my project collection, I have a variety of pocket pages. So for those pocket pages, maybe I will pull out this Memories and More kit and work with that. Okay, so I've got that entire collection to work with here. And you know what? It's just because you pull out a kit, if you need to have a piece of cardstock or patterned paper, if you need to look in your collection for a piece of evening evergreen because you didn't pull out a piece of evening evergreen DSP, you know what? You're not restricted to only use this. This is just a guideline. Okay. All right. So I'm going to keep that out as well. Now, next up, after paper, I usually go to my embellishments, and now my embellishments are like my selection of embellishments are enormous. So first of all, I've got several bins of them. So I pulled out all of the ribbons that have retired. Now this isn't all of them, there's more in another bin, but we'll work on this one first. Okay, so I'm looking at my colors. I'll definitely include this white. I don't really have any purple. There is some yellow, so I think I might include that. This is a bit more vintagey, so I don't think I'm going to use that. Pale papaya could be used with this. I don't want this one. I don't think I want black. I don't know. This one, I'm not 100% sure on this one. I might come back to this one. Let me just grab the rest of the ribbon. Okay, so this black and white twine is a definite, because you know me and my baker's twine, right? Okay, this is, I think it's Blushing Bride, which I don't think we have any of that. There is a little bit of Pool Party here. This has a little bit of Evening Evergreen. I'll just leave that there. I think that is all the ribbon. Okay, also in this little container, I have these Bumblebee trinkets, which I don't think I'm going to include these. I have these heart charms. I think I will include these. Those might be fun to put on a page. I have these vellum doilies. There's only a couple left there, so I think I'm going to include those. Challenge myself and see if I can use those up. Okay, and then, Now this bin is a combination. There's my dies and embossing folders. We're not even going to talk about stamps and dies and embossing folders today. We're creating a consumable kit. Okay. All right. So I've got these clips. Based on the projects that I have, these clips have on my list. These clips probably aren't the best choice. I've got these sequins, which I love these sequins. I don't know how many packages over the course of the 2 years that they were available of these sequins I went through. So I'm going to include those. I've also got these From My Heart faceted gems. So there's red, there's pink, and there's white in here. I think I'm going to pass on these. I have these, which are Just Jade and Clear. I love the clear ones in this, so I am going to include those just because I really, really like those clear ones. I've got some Whale of a Time sequence, but if I look at the colors, there's that blue in here, which I don't have any blue, so I'm going to skip that. I've got these matte decorative dots. Now, there's not a whole lot of color left. Let's just see if there's any other colors in here. I think these retired last year. Okay, so there is some green. It's a little bit of a different green. This color's retired. There's a bit of yellow in here. Let's see, would this go with these? You know what, just because there's so few of these, I'm going to include them in there just in case. We've got some gilded gems. There's quite a few of these left. And I don't think I want any gold, so I will not include these. Ugh, I'll put that away after. I've got some in color jewels. Again, the pale papaya really is the only color. Well, I guess that could go for yellow as well. But I think I'm going to leave these out. I've got these genial gems, but the green is more minty, so those probably won't work. I've got these silver metallic pearls, which I'm going to pass on. A few blue adhesive backed gems, which could, let's see if these could pass with this. It's not bad. You know what? I'm going to include these just because there's so few left. So when that happens, when I've got so very little left, I will try to include those. And then here, these are some stars. Now there are purple in here, and I don't have any purple in my kit. However, I do have some orange. So there's some pumpkin pie. And stars are a great kind of neutral embellishment. So I am going to include those. And then this is more emerald. It's just a random assortment of things. But you know what? I'm going to include them. Okay, and then the rest are stamps and dies, which we aren't going to worry about. Okay, so that's the beginnings of the embellishments. Now, I have several other ways that I store embellishments. So I'm just going to slide some of this stuff out of the way so I have a little bit more space. Okay, so now I've got these 3 adorable little boxes that I keep some embellishments in. So I'm going to go through those. So you can see that this does take some time. Okay, in here I've got just kind of a random assortment. Okay, this is Pool Party Twine. That is definitely going to be included. We've got some gold stars. We've got some pink sequins. Here are some multicolored, which has opened. Well, we've got some Pool Party sequins, which that could work. These are some yellow. That could work. So it's just a hodgepodge of things in here. Let's see what else. Okay, so I think that's it from in here. So I'll set that one aside. Now in here, these are some sticker sheets. And I've got, some of these are from leftover paper pumpkin, or not paper, well, there might be paper pumpkin ones. Paper pumpkin or Memories and More kits from the past. Some of them are from other things that I've purchased. So again, I'm just looking at the colors. There's some pink, there's some red, there's green and yellow. There's this kind of color, which is almost like a Bermuda Bay. And because there's so few left on here, you know what, I'm going to include it because my goal is to really try to use whatever I can and use it up. So this is from an old, let's see here, Memories and More kit. I love this little lined piece here. This actually, I don't think it's even a sticker. Oh, maybe it is a sticker. But that little grid paper thing there, that's really cute. Okay, I think what I'm going to do, because I don't think I'd use the rest. The rest is, I think this was for a baby themed Memories and More kit, which I think was called Project Life at the time. So, but I do love this. So I'm going to cut that and use that. Let's see what else we've got. This is from a paper pumpkin kit, but again, the colors don't really work. Those colors don't really work. Okay, this is from a really old paper pumpkin kit as well. Because there's, again, not many left, I'm going to include those. Maybe I can use those to add in here and there. Not much left in this, but this is more corally. And I don't know that Friendship is really, there is a label shape. No, I'm going to pass on that. Okay, let's see here. This is from an old Project Life. This is old Project Life. Oh my gosh, there's some really old ones. Oh, there's a cute cloud here, but that's gone. I've used it up. I do like these label shapes and these circles, so I'm going to cut this again and use that. This again is from a really old Project Life kit. So there's some white stickers in here. There's the pop of black. We've got Pool Party, and then we've got a green, which could pass for Granny Apples. So those color schemes work. There's a Pool Party speech bubble here. That could be cute. So I'm going to cut that out. Okay. These I think are from a kit. I don't think I can use those. Okay, let's see here. Let's quickly go through these now that they're facing up. These thanks are nice. This is from an old kit. Oh my gosh, this is from a very long time ago. Oh, and these are really old as well. These are like craft stickers that we used to carry. There's some stars, there's some hearts. Oh, you can't even see what shapes they are on here. Label shapes, there's hexagons. These might be fun to include. No, I don't like that. Okay, and then I've got some label shapes. Silver. So you can see I keep so many things because it just doesn't go bad. You never know when you'll be able to use it. And it's kind of fun to include some of these random bits and pieces in your kit to get your creative juices flowing. Okay, I think this might be it from, oh, what was that? This is a little sticker. No. Okay, let's see. Almost done with this bin. Okay, so I think that's it from this little sticker bin. I'll just pop these back in here. Okay, and then I can't even remember what's in this. All right, so this is a lot of leftover paper pumpkin pieces. So this yellow, that could work. I'm gonna stay away from this green. A lot of them are just white label shapes. This kind of has a different feel, so I'm not gonna go with that. This is more minty than Granny Apple. Look at this, like, how old is this? Do you remember when we carried chipboard pieces? Okay. I don't know that there's gonna be a ton in here that I pull from. Oh, we got some mason jars. No, I don't think we'll use those. Okay, so these kind of look like pool party shapes. This kind of looks like granny, no, it's a different color than Granny Apple Green. This is pool party. Let's see, what else have we got here? We got some wood grain. This is pool party. We've got a yellow shape here. We got a couple more yellows. Let's include those in there. This could pass with that. So I'm just doing a quick run through here. This could be cute. That's Bermuda Bay. There's another speech bubble. It's kind of pool party. Okay. I think that might be it from here. What's this? Oh, not quite the right color. Oh, I love this border. I'm going to include that. Okay, I think that is it from this bin. Okay, and then I've got this bin. So this is a huge iris tote. Well, a huge iris. It's an iris tote of random bits and pieces. Again, there's some leftover paper pumpkin pieces. There's pieces that I've die cut and then never used. So I just kind of separated them and organized them by kind of type. This was a pencil that I created just using a variety of punches and things. And remember I had mentioned that back to school layouts might be on my list. So I think I'm going to take that out because that might be cute. I just don't know if I want to go through all of this stuff. Like there's just so much. Like leftover pieces that I used for a project and then, or pieces that I've stamped and colored for a project, even fussy cut and then didn't end up using. Those are in here. Just so much. This was from a leftover paper pumpkin kit. Like look at all these pieces. Most of these are from leftover paper pumpkin kits. Let's see. I'm just going to do a quick look just to see if there's anything that jumps out at me. Oh, there's a doily here. Or a portion of a doily. That might be cute. Let's include that. Okay, this could be a title. Bless your heart. I'm trying to think of the projects that I've got. I could also separate it and not necessarily use it as bless your heart. I could use the words individually to create a title. Let's include that. Okay, let's see. What have we got in here? There's this little love. There's hooray. There's love this, which is almost like the red and the pink. I'm going to include that. I've got friends. I've got hooray. Cozy. So these are all things with words on them. Silly, jolly. Okay. And then it's hard for you guys to see, but I've got these. This is all just random pieces again. I I think there's a Canada Day layout on one of those things, so I'm going to include that. Look at that fun little red frame. I wonder how close this red is. You know what? I'm going to include that too. That might be fun to include. Merry Christmas. I've got this black and white. This could be cute because there is some black and white in there. Got this little red polka dotted thing. That would be cute. Let's see what else we got in here. Okay, I think that might be it from there. And then in this one, again, all just random pieces. Now these stars, those could work. I've got some pumpkin pie in my kit. Okay, I think that might be it from that. Oh, here's some more stars. Red, got a yellow, it's wrong color yellow though. We've got some pool party shapes. And then there's a bunch of stickers. But I don't think, no, I think we're gonna pass on those. I'm not gonna use these black. These are to create a jack-o'-lantern face. Okay, set this aside. And then the last thing that I have is I have a little bit of a love for these titles, acrylic titles that you can get from ColorCast, and I have a collection of them. Now most of them are travel themed. I'm just going to go through them and just see. I don't have any travel themed. Happy Place. I need to look at my list of, where's my list? That might work. I'm going to keep that out. Wander, Friends. The Friends is in the wrong color though. Rome, Road Trip, Weekend Stories. Yeah, I'm going to leave that one out as well, just in case. Now most of these other ones are kind of love themed. This one might work because I bought them for my daughter's wedding album. Oh, there's all these stars. These colors actually might work. I'm going to keep those out. My Story. I'm going to take out this Right Now just because the red might work with some of what we've got here. Okay, so I think I am done assembling my kit. So let's have a look at what I've pulled out. Okay, slide this stuff out of the way so I can show you kind of everything all together. All right, so I've got my patterned papers. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of full 12 by 12 pattern paper, and then some partial pieces as well, and then some 6 by 6 patterns, and then some specialty paper. Okay, so I will also throw in some white 12 by 12 and some coordinating colors. Okay, so that is my base. That's what I did first. And then I pulled out some coordinating ribbon. So I stuck with colors from the kit. So black and white. I always need to have some twine. So this black and white twine will be perfect. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to include some white or black twine, regular baker's twine. I've got a white, which would allow me to color in any color. I've got some pool party on here, and then I've got some yellow. Okay, so that will give me a nice mix of colors to work with. And then I've got some sequins in the colors. So I've got some yellow, some orange, and some blue. There is some purple in here, but I don't have any purple in my kit, so I probably won't use the purple. I've got a few little doilies, and I've got some embellishments. So I've got these heart embellishments, some sequins. I've got these fun stars, some more sequins. I've got this scrap piece of blue and white baker's twine. And then I've got some ideas for titles here. This fun frame that I had in my collection. Here is another. So just, and some random bits and pieces from my stash that will help me decorate my pages. Now I will also, or my projects, because they're not all going to be pages, but I will also include some stamps and some dies, but I will choose my stamps and my dies based on the project that I'm creating. So I don't necessarily limit myself to one, oh, I've got a few more things here, to one particular stamp set for the entire time that I'm creating with this kit. I like to incorporate a variety of stamps and dies, just so that all my projects don't all look exactly the same. So this is my consumable kit, and then I will add in the stamps and dies based on my list and what I'm documenting, what I'm creating. So again, there'll be several scrapbook pages. So in this class, you'll see lots of it is scrapbook based. So some 12 by 12 traditional pages, some 12 by 12 pocket pages. You'll see some 6 by 8 pocket pages, and even some smaller pocket pages, maybe some traveler's notebook pages. But then there will also be a few cards, and there will also be that shadow box, tiered tray shadow box thing that I pulled out as well. Okay, so a nice variety of projects, all with this as the base. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that process. If this is something that interests you, if you'd like to see how I use these supplies to create the projects, be sure to register for the Scrap Your Stash class. I've posted a link in the description. You can find it all there. And I'd love to have you join us. I think it's going to be fun. And I'd love to see photos of the kits that you put together. The other thing that you can do, like I know that going through your stash can be a bit overwhelming. You can actually pull out, if you don't want to pull everything out and go through everything, just pull out a suite of products. If you've got an entire suite, you can work with that suite. If you've got a collection, it doesn't necessarily have to be from Stampin' Up. Maybe it's a collection from a different company. If you've got a collection that includes some stickers, some pattern paper, some cardstock, and some embellishments, that's some ephemera, that's a great collection to work with. That's your kit right there. You can incorporate a few other things if you want, but you don't need to. All right, so I hope that you decide to join me in the Scrap Your Stash class. We are going to have lots of fun, and I will see you again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time for another Facebook Live. All right, take care. Bye, guys.